Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to ChiefsBlitz.com YouTube podcast with your hosts, Nick Athan, Andre Tillman, and producer Hense Todd. They'll break down the three-time Super Bowl champions as only they can do. Here's your host, Nick Athan.
Welcome back to the next edition of Chiefs Blitz, our podcast you get on YouTube. Please subscribe to our page. It's going to be a great show. Got a lot of things lined up, lots to talk about, including the Chiefs' chances at winning 17 straight over Denver. Before we get started, I want to introduce the guys, Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire. And if you haven't watched the Nigerian Nightmare clip that he put together for us, you must see. It's must-see TV. Appreciate Christian allowing us to do that. Hence, Andre Tillman, Coach Dre, Mr. Negative. What's up, buddy? And the old man, old man with me, Lou Montagna. We are the four guys that come to you 3 to 4 times a week, and we are having a blast. But before we get started, we want to talk about our newest sponsor, and that would be Mr. Dave Purdy. Dave Purdy is with Extreme Lending. You can reach him at 816-405-5831. You can hit the QR code as well, and you can go right to the process to see if you can qualify for a home loan. His MLS number is 7496. His email is dave.purdy@supremelending.com. We chose Dave because Dave is what?
Purdy good.
Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it. We appreciate it very much for being our sponsor. But anyway, guys, hey, crazy week. Obviously, there's a few things going on in the Chiefs kingdom and the Chiefs world, but it's Friday. It's Red Friday. That means we got a game on Sunday. The Kansas City Chiefs will travel to Denver to try and win their 17th straight game against the Denver Broncos. I don't know what the NFL record is. I think it's 20 or 21 or something like that. I'm sure the Patriots were probably the team that did it. I didn't do the research, or someone wants to post that for us. Rock on. We'll run that ball. But guys, I said this all week. This game scares the out of me. I think playing an opponent twice in 3 weeks is very difficult. You see teams go back to back, and the end of the season and the first round of the playoffs, and generally you don't see a lot of sweeps. So, with that said, I'm a little iffy on that. I'm a little iffy on this game.
Yeah, I would say ordinarily that's something that you would look for. It's a division game. Just played 2 weeks in a row. We've beat, the Chiefs have beaten them 16 times straight. I don't know. There's all sorts of historical things that have happened in the meantime, and it still doesn't go far enough. But I don't know. I mean, I was looking at some stuff. I mean, they played a game. The Chiefs played a game. Chiefs kind of broke out offensively a little bit. I don't know that Denver really did anything differently or did anything extremely well. But again, just in having watched the NFL for as long as we have, Nick, we are nervous Nellies. We're going to be clutching our pearls. We're going to be like very nervous for the game. But yeah, it's a tough spot. But again, I don't see anything from Denver that says they've got enough to kind of overcome whatever it is they've been trying to overcome this whole season.
Right.
Well, I'm going to say this. I believe they might edge it out this game. Denver might. But, again, I definitely have to agree with both of y'all. I don't see Denver beating Kansas City.
Right.
I feel like right now, there's so much going on with Denver right now with the roster cuts and stuff like that, and the trade and the trade block. So as of right now, we don't know what kind of Denver team you're going to get. And who knows? But again, Denver on paper is still a good team on paper. On paper, it's still a good team on paper, and it's still Russell Wilson, right? You still got Sean Payton. So at the end of the day, who knows? But right now, Kansas City gonna take over. It's gonna be a walkthrough. It's gonna be a walkthrough, clear walkthrough.
Wow, it's coming from you. That's pretty good.
Because I got to show a little love, Nick. I got to show a little love.
Right,
I can't be naive.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah.
Wait. Mark the time. Mark the time. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. I think me looking at it, I'm thinking that it just. I don't want them just thinking about the Miami Dolphins game because they showed the heck out of the headquarters of Kansas City, they out there promoting the London game very, very highly. And I just don't want them to look as an organization, just overlook this Denver Broncos game and just fall apart going into the Miami Dolphins game and go down 0-2. You know what I mean? Going into the bye week. So I put it like this. I feel like, you know what I mean, the Broncos, you know, do they have a chance? No. Is it any given Sunday? Yes. But I don't, you know, the Broncos don't have a chance. They in they're in thrift store mode. Thrift store mode. They in there selling everything.
Take your time, sir.
Even the mannequins, you know what I mean? Even the mannequins, you know what I mean? So I don't believe the Broncos have a chance. But again, they could have a chance if you let these teams that don't have nothing going for themselves hang around. What you got to say, Luke? Because it looked like
the Chiefs would definitely have to contribute to losing the game. In other words, you know, Patrick would have to, you know, have one of these games where he just throws like 2 or 3 picks. Denver would have to play out of their minds. They would play the best game they've played so far this year under Sean Payton. And even then, it would probably still be close. Do they have the mentality to win a game like that? I just don't see it. The weather may play a role. My son lives out there. He's saying even today, it's like in the 20s. It's really cold. They might be expecting a little bit of snow, but like Patrick said, his first time in the snow, I'm a snow game guy. I can do this. So there's going to be different factors and so forth. But again, I mean, nothing in that win against Green Bay last week showed me that the Broncos have improved at all. Now, again, it's only been 2 weeks, but you know, they were up 9-0 at the half, 3 short field goals, which means they got stopped in the red zone 3 times and couldn't score. They're playing against a very young quarterback who still hasn't really shown the ability to get his team over the top. You know, again, it wasn't like they took charge of the game. They needed a field goal late to win that game. So it would be a huge upset. Yeah, really. I mean, seriously. I mean, we can sit here and, you know, just kind of stroke ourselves and tell us how great the Chiefs are. But the bottom line is the Chiefs are a much better team, and unless they get caught looking ahead, which I don't see that happening. Especially since it's a division game. Andy owns the division. Patrick owns the division. It's like, you know, when Brady against the AFC East. Nick was talking about it. You know, who has the record? Probably is New England over Buffalo. I don't know. They beat them like 10 years in a row, it seemed like. So, should be an interesting game to see if the Chiefs can continue to build on the offense that they showed against the Chargers. Other than that, it's just.
I'm gonna say this.
Beat the drum.
I'm gonna say this real quick, Lou, real quick. It just dawned on me. I think the Chiefs found their identity. I think Kansas City knows exactly what they want to do now. I think Rashid Rice is a big part of the offense right now. Travis Kelce, you know, he's a very big part of the offense right now, and they got a good run game, and everybody else gonna follow suit. So we know who the ball's going to because they can put Rashid Rice inside or outside in that offense. So we know exactly what the Chiefs are going to do now. Now I'm starting to understand Nagy a little bit more now, you know. So I feel like Chiefs know who they are, and the defensive line got a whole lot better.
Yep.
So, you know, right now I feel like Denver doesn't have a chance in hell. Excuse my language. Doesn't have a chance, you know, on beating them right now because
I'm saying that. I won't say that. I won't say that. I just it's every given Sunday, and like Nick said at the beginning of this topic, it's tough playing a team 3
twice in a year.
Twice in a year. Back to back that early.
Twice in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Twice in 3 weeks.
It's back to back. Wait, hold on. Why am I the positive one? Why am I the positive one after the bunch? I'm saying she's gonna win. All of a sudden now, hence the bow tie don't know.
He has changed his tune a little bit. Usually it's like a Chiefs walk, no matter who they're playing.
First of all, I didn't say they're not going to win. All I said was I don't want them overlooking this game, thinking going into Miami, focus more on London and the trip, the big boats, and everything else that's going over there in London. And
it is Frankfurt. They're going to Germany.
Yeah, Germany.
Not England.
It's overseas, man. That's all I know.
Overseas, over the water.
That was a big deal for the Hunts. They wanted that German market.
Their territory.
Yeah. So
speaking of big deals, let's get into the second sponsor. What you got for us, Nick, before we go into the next topic?
All right, guys, before we get to the next topic, I also want to welcome Eric Haynes. He's been a good friend of mine for a really long time. He is a realtor, so we got you covered for mortgages with Dave Purdy, and we got you covered with real estate in Eric Haynes. He's one of the most honest dudes I know. You can reach him at 816-729-3785. Email, real simple, esellskc@gmail.com. He's also a huge Chiefs fan, and he'll definitely hook you up. Going to have Eric on the show as well at some point. Maybe we'll share some of our old stories when he used to be one of the top bartenders in Kansas City. He's not going to mind that I say that because that's where we met. Terrific guy. So if you need to find real estate in Kansas City or out of the area, give Eric a call, 816-729-3785.
Hey, he fits right in. Four guys in a bar.
Four guys in a bar. That's where
he can serve them up.
He can definitely serve them up. So
yes, he
want to appreciate
can.
both those guys very much for climbing on board and sponsoring the Chiefs Blitz podcast. None of that other stuff here. We're just going to do real people who sponsor the site. None of that stuff that you have to sell 20 items to make a buck. Ain't going to work on our end. We're old school. So
speaking of working on the ends, what's going on with the AFC West? You know what I mean? The Chiefs are just keep taking.
Was that Chris Jones? This is Chris Jones look.
If the Chiefs win this Sunday, right?
Yep.
They win this Sunday. The AFC is done. You know, they got left to play the Raiders. You know, they got to left to play the Raiders. It's in the bag at that point. You know what I mean? At that point, it's in the bag. The Chiefs won it again. You know what I mean? So what you guys say about that?
Well, I think we've talked about this quite a bit. The Chargers are the Chargers. They're going to be that team that'll play well for maybe a couple of quarters, maybe make it a game in the second half, which we saw. Then the Broncos. I mean, their defense played really good, I think, that Thursday night game. But the Chiefs were 1-5 or 1-6 in the red zone scoring touchdowns, and in one instance they didn't get any points at all. So I don't think that's going to happen again. I think the Chiefs, as Andre mentioned, I think. They kind of found their groove. They kind of know who they are offensively.
Yes, they did.
Now.
They did.
And I think what's important is, Andy Reid has never really been one of these guys who has taken an opponent lightly. Now, that doesn't mean he always wins, and that doesn't always mean that some of the players might not share the same sentiment. But based on this locker room and based on the cohesiveness of these guys and how hard they worked, I thought the Denver Broncos had probably a better chance to upset them at Arrowhead than they do at home. The streak is one thing, and it's all great for the fans, and we love it. But this is a division game and a chance to say, okay, here, the AFC West, the Broncos aren't, they got one win. They're not going anywhere. But this just kind of sends a message that, hey, they're going to be 3-0 in the division, and they've got to return, still have to play the Raiders twice and the Chargers the last game of the year, which is going to be meaningless. The Chiefs will have wrapped up the number one seed by then in the AFC, so it's going to be a moot point game. But it's just to put the hammer down and put your thumb down and say we are the dominant team. Nobody's catching us, and so they can continue to do what they have to do, get that number one seed. And right now they're in the lead. They have all the tiebreakers with all the other AFC teams because their only loss is against the Detroit Lions. So the last thing that they need is to lose to the lowly Broncos, with a head coach that I think's in over his head, with a quarterback who's not very good. And you got players who want out, and they could be very active after Sunday.
Absolutely.
Should the Chiefs take them to the woodshed and put them down for good. So, listen, this game scares me a little bit. I think it's going to be a game mid-late third quarter, but the cream will rise to the top. Somebody will make a play, and that'll stretch out enough for a victory on Sunday.
I'm going to say this, though.
The West is done.
Look, I'm gonna say this. Like, now, me going thinking again, Peyton Manning dominated his division in his prime, right? Tom Brady dominated, right? So now you got Patrick Mahomes, and guys like this just doesn't get beat in their own division. Like, they own their division. So, but again, I'm not saying that Denver won't compete with them. I feel like Denver. I think Denver playing with pride this game. I think Denver playing with a lot of pride this game. I think Denver doesn't want to be the laughing stock of the division, right? So I feel like Denver going to come out fighting hard, going to come out there with a point to prove, especially Russell Wilson. So I'm going to say this. If Denver does win it, they win it, they edge it out. If they do win it, they edge it out. They edge it out. They by hook or crook, they're going to edge it out. But with that being said, I got Kansas City taking this game.
Well, when you got two teams in the division that are probably in sell mode at the trade deadline, and the third that probably should be, it just says a lot about the division. And we like Nick said, I mean, we talk about this every week, and it really hasn't changed. We can't say we point to this team and they've made this change where it looks like maybe they're turning a corner. I don't think any of those three teams are anywhere near turning a corner. Now, again, we can put the Herbert debate aside for a few seconds, Nick. We'll just not today. So you got one other team that has like their franchise quarterback. But again, there's a lot of other things that are going on in each organization that is making them just not cohesive. Nick talks about it all the time as they're building these teams to build the Chiefs. And again, I mean, if that's what they think they're doing, they're not doing a very good job at it because no one's coming close. So yeah, the division to sit here and talk about it and try to like prop some of these teams up. It's very difficult.
Can't do it
because they don't show any signs of being able to do it and do it on a consistent basis. So
it's an identity. Yeah, I think it's the identity, Lou. Good point. It's the identity.
Yeah, I mean, you hope Sutton has, or not Sutton, but Sean Payton has a plan, and it's just going to take some time to implement it. Maybe the Chargers bring in Jim Harbaugh or some other coach that is going to be a little bit more organized and be more quarterback friendly, and whatever it is. Maybe Kellen Moore takes over and they bring in a different defensive coordinator. But again, it's all these maybes. And again, we don't want to sound like we're just crushing this division. They're just really poorly run.
Let me make one.
Let me say this. How does it feel? A couple of years down the road, a years back, the Broncos fans were sounding like us. They were saying that, we are crushing the division. We are doing this because we got Peyton Manning. He's taking the division by storm. And now the cards have turned. How lucky it is to be a Chiefs fan now. Looking at the Chargers, looking at the Raiders, looking at the Broncos. Yeah, Kenneth Stain, yes. But that's the way it got to be when you have a generation talent like Patrick Mahomes. Like Patrick Mahomes is coming around, this taking the lead by storm. And he also owning his division, like Dre said before. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, them guys are GOATs. They own their division. When you show that you own your division, that put you in GOAT status. You know what I mean? So also with Andy Reid, when he was with the Eagles, he owned his division. You know what I mean? Every Didi brought that here to Kansas City. So look at it now. Like, how could it be just very blessed to be a Chiefs fan right now?
Well, I'm not gonna say own the division because Eli Manning has something to say about that. Eli Manning and them Giants had something to say about that. But I'm gonna say
about the West.
Okay, you're right. But at the same time, hence you're correct because you got Mayweather, right? Mayweather in his prime owned it. Like there's nobody coming close. And they would say what Mayweather cheated. No, he's that good. Jordan was that good. Mahomes is that good. Those are guys like you can't, because the first thing they'll say is they're cheating. Referees cheating for them. They got this playmaker here. They got this wide receiver here. It's like, no, let's start with the excuses and just recognize talent. Mahomes is him. This is his time. He's a generational talent and he's starting to blossom. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to find his stride now. I
agree with you. And I think here's what I mean. I think you watch these NFL people. All week I predicted it. Oh, Lamar Jackson. Oh, they're the team to beat in the AFC now. He put up a lights up show, and it's just like, and there are a couple of people that's we're talking about Patrick and saying, "What are you guys talking about? Look at the accomplishments. Right. Look at what he's done." They just want this other quarterback because he has a good week or two. Then all of a sudden he's going to dethrone Patrick Mahomes. And guys, it's just not that simple. It takes a lot. You have to have failure. You have to learn how to win. This winning streak is not by chance. This is preparation. They got tired of being whooped up by Peyton Manning, and they ended his career basically. They got him benched. That was the point.
Marcus Peters.
That was the year that everybody, said, okay.
Stop disrespecting the show.
Okay, we got the Broncos now. They pretty much have owned the Chargers. They own the Raiders. They do it because of one single thing, and nobody talks about it. They understand the importance of winning your division. That's Absolutely. It. You got to go 5-1, 4-2 at the worst. 3-3 is not acceptable. What do I have to do to get that record? It ensures me a playoff spot at home in the wild card round. Now, obviously, expectations are different, but none of these other teams have that. They don't have the quarterback, and they keep changing. They keep fluctuating. They change coaches. They change coordinators. The Chiefs have been relatively seamless. You go from, Eric Bieniemy, and, he did a great job. You bring in Matt Nagy. He was part of the organization and part of the reason why they won all those games in the AFC. His work with Patrick Mahomes in year one when he was Alex Smith's backup, not enough people talk about. He prepped him. He prepared him. He went through every situation with him to make sure he understood what it takes to be a quarterback off the field and on the field. And he and Alex Smith deserve all the credit in the world. But you don't have that in Jimmy G. You don't have that in Russell Wilson. You don't have that in Justin Herbert. There aren't enough good coaches around them. They have players and they have talent. But at the end of the day, they just don't have a system that can duplicate what Kansas City is. And hence, you make a great point. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy this time. We talked to Christian Okoye the other night about his book, and one of the things, he was part of that Renaissance revival. They got Marty Ball growing, and it was Derek, and it was Neil, and it was Christian, and it was DeBerg, and they were getting in the playoffs. They weren't winning a lot, but they were getting there, and they changed the culture and the attitude. And then now we have it at a much higher level that everybody can be proud of. So I say this, run with it, love it, enjoy it. Be the Patriots fans, be the Broncos fans. It's okay. You can have that pump on your chest thing because this is the best team in football, and they're going to win another Super Bowl, if not probably this year, maybe next year, who knows. But they're the team to beat until Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are no longer on the sidelines together. And if anybody thinks any different and people keep taking away from Patrick Mahomes, all he's going to do is what? He's just going to prove them all wrong. Like, hey, I don't have good wide receivers. They're not good enough. They're too young. They're too inexperienced. Rant's over, guys. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest player in the NFL. We're lucky to have him, and I'm going to enjoy every single second of it.
So
hold on.
Let Lou. It's on Lou.
Before we get into that, you talking about like Patrick Mahomes? Yeah, he's pretty. He's good. But let's go back into our sponsor. Let's hear back from him again. Because he's pretty good. So let's go ahead for the sponsor again, in case everybody misses. So go ahead.
All right. Again, we want to welcome Dave Purdy with the Supreme Lending. If you're self-employed, if you're not self-employed, if you just want to see if you can qualify, you can hit the little button there and you can check out Dave. Again, you can reach him 816-405-5831. Email dave.purdy@supremelending.com. We choose Dave because he is
pretty good. Let's go, Dave. Let's go, Dave. Last year, the Chiefs, I think last year was kind of a year early. Don't you guys agree? Because
I agree.
The defensive backs were young. Most of the defense was young. The unproven receivers, what are they going to do without Tyreek? All this other stuff. So I think, again, as good as the run has been, I truly believe we're in the infancy stages of it. Now, again, it's hard to say that. People don't want to hear that because it's like, oh, God, it's going to be the Patriots for the next 20 years.
Yep.
But again, Brady had a big gap in between those first three and then the second three in New England. But I just don't see that happening because of the youth and how they've built this roster. In terms of the national media, I think everybody looks for, well, first, it's Chiefs fatigue. It's Patrick fatigue. And now this whole thing with Travis and Taylor Swift, forget it. People hate this. I mean, it's like enough already. And they bring up stupid excuses. And I preached about it last week, change the channel, all that other stuff. But the bottom line is that everybody's searching for just some breadcrumb that somebody's going to come and take the crown from them. And okay, Lamar, Lamar, come on, he has a good game. Oh my God, I told you, there you go. It's happening. This is the one. The Lions, here we go. This is the next big thing. They're the one. Philadelphia. Now I think Philadelphia is still pretty damn good.
They're a pretty good team,
and that's going to be a tough one if it gets to that. Or San Francisco. They've lost a couple, but they're still a pretty damn good team. But the bottom line is, again, I feel like it's still the infancy stages of this run because of how young the defense is, how they're starting to come along and now kind of getting on par and actually ranked ahead of the offense right now. If you look at league numbers, the defense is ranked higher than the offense. And that's just, again, the scariest thing for the rest of the NFL is that this defense now is on par with the offense. And let it rip, man. Let's go. Bring on the all comers. You want to anoint some other people? You want to crown them? Go ahead.
Hey, go. Speaking of this, man, we got a little bit of breaking news right here with Justin Ross. Go ahead and let us know what's going on, Nick.
Well, he's been put on the commissioner's exemption list, which means he is not allowed to practice. He is not allowed to participate or be around the team in any way till he is removed from that list. What that tells me is he's got some work to do. His case, I think, has been referred to December. So it's quite likely we've seen the last of him for at least 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the outcome of that hearing in December. But being on this list, you don't get out of it until the commissioner deems, till he has all the facts. The league's been able to research this. I'm assuming this means there's going to be a roster spot open if it's an exemption list. So the Chiefs probably will activate or bring up another wide receiver or another position for Sunday's game. Maybe this leads to another move. I don't think they're going to make a trade for a wide receiver, but
Michael Evans.
Yeah, well, Michael Evans would be great. He played terrific last night against the Bills, and I don't even want to get started on that game. Oh, gee, that was terrible. Anyway, but I'm not going to.
Can we hit one thing about that game last night?
All right, go ahead.
I've been watching football for, I sick to admit it, but 50 plus years. Okay. And I think maybe I saw something for the first time. So at the end of the game, Baker kind of buys some time and he launches the Hail Mary. I don't think I've ever seen a Hail Mary pass in the NFL hit the end zone clean.
Yeah.
I mean, where it bounced and no one touched it.
Well, you had 4 Buffalo Bills defenders doing pass interference on 2 guys.
Yeah, it was a
harassing,
hugging. But didn't it look like Godwin was like completely shocked that the ball was there because he was right there? That was like catching a punt.
He had no idea the pass was even thrown.
That's what I'm saying. He turned around and was like, "Oh, there's the ball." Like,
he wasn't paying any attention.
It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
It was a perfect pass. I mean, it was perfectly executed. The arc, it was like, and that's the dud conclusion that we get.
Yeah, I mean, it just hit the ground. It's like, what?
I don't care who you are. You look for the ball. I mean, if that was Travis Kelce, that's a catch. If it's a host of receivers, and they weren't prepared for the play, and I don't think the guys thought he could chuck the ball that far. And granted, he's kind of struggled. He played well in spots last night, but
that was his best throw of the night.
I listen. Mike Florio talked about this today. And it wasn't 1 pass interference; it was 2.
Yeah,
at some point, this is a rule.
Athan was getting tackled.
Yeah, at some point, we're going to address it. But one thing we do know is Justin Ross is going to be in this position for a while.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
So
I tried to flip it around a little bit. We're all pretty sad about this and seriously, you hope everything gets adjudicated properly and that he can kind of bounce back from this because again, his mental state, to me, again, this is just off the top of my head, is that he's making this huge return from injury. I'm sure he still sees himself as the opportunity to be an elite receiver in this league. and now he's got this other hurdle to climb. And if he did something wrong, then he'll be punished and everything else. I just hope he has the opportunity to then at some point come back and get a chance to redeem himself.
The bottom line is the league's going to review it. They'll put somebody on the case. They'll talk to the prosecutors. They'll probably even talk to Ross. And if they deem that he can be removed from the list, he will. But I think this basically ends the Justin Ross time in Kansas City, at least for this year. And thank God for Rashee Rice. Kadarius Toney, it's time to step up. And Sky Moore, you got to step up. I'm
gonna say Miko. I'm gonna say Miko.
Justin Watson, McCall. I mean, listen, you got those receivers. Miko. I mean, that's pretty good. Watson and Hardman can spread the field out. Rashee Rice has taken over the slot. Sky Moore has run a much better routes the last 2 games and pretty much caught everything thrown his way, which is a positive. Kadarius Toney, I think he may not be 100% healthy until after the bye week, but this is about the time he came in a year ago, and I think
you said I think that's not good. I think he should be ready. See, listen, this is what I'm saying about this young man. We gotta go ahead and just escort this man out the way and let Sky Moore go and let Sky Moore eat. Let's go. Miko Hardman's time, guys. It's Miko Hardman's time. After that catch
you've mentioned every receiver. You've mentioned every receiver.
They're gonna give Toney every chance.
In terms of Kadarius Toney, the thing that I think I'm a little not concerned, but upset about is that they're not. Everything they're using with him is either at or behind the line of scrimmage. Where if you remember last year, I think it was against Jacksonville, against some of the games where they're throwing him the ball downfield and he's making plays. Mm-hmm. So maybe they're pigeonholing it. I don't know, but it seems like I'd like to see him get down the field
more down the field, more route running.
Yeah,
more route running.
Hold on. Speaking of route running, I see. Even though Justin Ross is going, doing with his thing, but again, I feel like we got a Macon. You know what I mean? We have a Macon in a match of a Macon because Travis Kelce is not going to be here all the time. You know what I mean? He's not. He got a couple years, but I feel I'm seeing Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, Patrick Mahomes, and Rashee Rice.
Look at this.
That's what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing right now. I feel like
I feel you on that one. I feel
like this is happening. I feel like this is happening in the kingdom, and I feel like he's in the making. I feel like it's in the making. And could it happen again? You know what I mean? Yeah, the Montana was on the Chiefs.
That's crazy.
Now you got Patrick Mahomes. Now you have Rice, and you have another Rice. Could this be in the making? Even though Justin Ross have his thing going on right now, we hope everything for the best for the kid. But again, you got to talk about the positive. The positive right now is Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is out here taking a lead by storm, coming from a small school at that. Coming from a small school, a lot of people passed up on him. It's not like a big school, but again, he's coming from a small school, and the Chiefs sent every wide receiver. They say they didn't, right? They said they didn't. They said they didn't send every wide receiver to go work out with Patrick Mahomes, but it's kind of funny that every number one wide receiver in the draft was out there working out with Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes chose this guy out of everybody else. He chose Rashee Rice. He said, "I want this guy out of all the receivers that's in the draft." He told the Chiefs.
All the receivers from Dallas that showed up. He did. I'm glad they took him over the kid from TCU that's kind of languishing.
Also, he's Lamar. Clark Hunt is a big fan of him. You know what I mean? He's a big fan.
He went to SMU.
I've never seen Clark Hunt come out and talk about anybody in the draft. But he said, "This the guy I wanted. This the guy
went to
I
SMU,
want."
And so did Clark.
Hold on, wait, both. How about your boy Johnson with the Chargers? Now, wasn't that your guy, sir?
Well, it was, but you know me. But the guy pick. I'm not that one. I'm not there. I'm not.
Okay, I'm just making sure now. I'm just making sure.
or bow tie. He's with you, win or tie. Win or tie, he's with you, man.
He's with you, win or tie. But again, I like that picture. That photo spoke volumes because I was like, Mahomes and Rice, Montagna and Rice. I like that picture, and I feel like, to me, you see it. It's like you see greatness already, right? Because
I take my time.
Rice is starting to step up big, man. And then I said that the last couple of games, Rice been the guy. He's been the guy. And like we said, give him more targets. He's been the guy. Now he is the guy. Like Travis Kelce is about to be on the downfall a little bit. And I say it with no disrespect. Rice is the guy that's going to lead the charge now.
What have we seen so far to suggest that other than he turned 34?
Okay. Turn the mic off. What are you talking about?
I said it because if y'all watch these games, there's nobody that can stop Rice.
No,
he's always open.
No, he can run. He runs. Nobody can stop Kelce, and that's always number one in this offense.
Kelce gonna stop himself.
Right. Well, yeah, in a couple of years. Right now, he's flying high, and he's good, man. He's got the magic carpet ride going.
He's got a new energy, man.
He's got it all cooking, man. It's all good for Travis Kelce right now.
Okay. He's making a little bit.
But the elevation of Rice is important.
It is.
Now you have another option. He's had enough success in the red zone. He's had enough success in the middle of the field. That I said this last week. That route he ran where he made the adjustment on that 1st and 20 and caught that ball at the back of the end zone. I don't know any rookie in the NFL who can make that play. I don't see it. To be that little time in the system to work in such a complex offense as Kansas City has. And the Chiefs playbook is like this big. I don't know if you can see that. It's like as big as my face. I mean, it's a massive thing. And he did something that some of these other receivers have struggled to do. What did he do? He improvised. He said, "Hey, I'm not open here. I'm going to sneak back here, and I know my quarterback's going to throw me the ball, and I'm going to make sure my feet are going to touch in." I mean, he was in the back line of the end zone. He had maybe 4, 5, 6 inches of separation. What does he do? He makes a catch I didn't think he could make. He ran a route I didn't think he could make. And so what you saw in this game was Kelce and Rice had space in the middle between safeties and corners. And also when they had to get in the back of the end zone, who did he look for? It wasn't Kelce. It was the kid from SMU who, there it is, is a Larry Fitzgerald kind of clone. But I'm telling you.
Well, I don't think the Kelce and Rice aren't mutually exclusive. I think everything that you just said leads to the fact that he's playing next to Travis.
Yeah.
And I think it's somebody, again, we don't want to shout out competitors or whatever, but I think Nick Jacobs, I don't know who he works for.
It's my buddy.
Maybe the TV station. Okay.
Yeah, he works for
He does a lot of film work in all 22. And he brought up a point that makes a lot of sense, is that typically when those two are lined up together, really good things happen. Mm-hmm. And I think there was like clip after clip that he posted on Twitter that it would just kind of supported his theory, whatever he was getting at there. And just like you said, that intuitive, I mean, he sees Travis do these things. And again, I guess it speaks to his ability to learn and his ability to say, hey, if I find the spot, 15 is going to find me.
Yep.
So hopefully that rubs off on some of the other guys as well. But when they line up together, it's pretty special.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. Great graphics, Hense, man. I love those. Those are cool.
Look at that. That's
I feel like this. Look, I got a question for Andre.
Little nostalgia there too.
You're gonna ask Andre a question. Is his microphone unmuted? Okay, go ahead.
Come on with it.
He over there looking in the corner of the birds. But
I'm over looking at the real game right now, sir.
Yeah, he over there looking at us feeding the squirrels. He feeding the squirrels peanut butter. But again, I got a question for you.
And talk to me.
As last year, right, Coach Dre?
Coach.
I mean, a lot of people don't know. Dre broke down a lot of. I mean, he took all summer. I pat him on the back for this. He took down all summer, all this past summer, maybe before the draft. Leading up to the draft, he looked down at every position of the draft. He broke it down. He searched all of them up. Can you say this? We kind of missed on Rashid Rice. We had
He wasn't the thrilling guy that we wanted. We seen other guys that could.
We had Hyatt,
Tank Dell, Josh Downs. We had your boy from TCU. We had him over there. We had a lot of guys that was going ahead of Rashee Rice, but again, some guys just fit the offense. Some guys just fit.
Some guys are great. Now, I seen Tyreek Hill play in his rookie year. Yeah, he was great, but it's something about Rashee Rice.
Rice is more physical. He's more a guy that you can count on.
There's something about Rashee Rice. Lou looked like he's not agreeing with this.
No, I'm just saying. You talk about Tyreek. I mean, Tyreek came in as a punt returner, running back. He made himself into a wide receiver, and he didn't have Patrick the whole time either. So that's all.
Shout out to Jalen Ramsey on that.
But I do appreciate you taking the time to watch those college receivers and Zay Flowers. All these guys that were ahead of him were playing. Yeah. And again, it was Boston College, but still you could see the talent. But somebody like Rice, again, he's playing at SMU, not necessarily a small school, but they're not on TV a lot. You really have to look for their games when they do play. But again, the physical talent you can see, and it was just a matter of, okay, how's he gonna fit? And obviously, again, even though Veach has had his struggles in drafting receivers, I think this one finally is a hit. Now, again, we're still early. Let's not put him in the Hall of Fame. We're not going to fit him for a jacket just yet, but I think he does have an opportunity to really be that guy.
I'm gonna say this real quick, Lou. I'm gonna say this: a guy that's a rookie that Andy Reid trusts off the rip is impressive to me.
Well, it's rare.
Very rare. He coming in straight in, rookie, no kick return, no punt returns. He's coming straight in. And he's performing at a high level as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting open, like again, what Nick was referring to the playbook. He knows the playbook, right? He's getting open now. I'm starting to see the separation between him and Ross. Ross doesn't even know the playbook for real. And I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying the way the season is going. And I'm sitting here like, I trust Rashee Rice more than any other receiver on the Kansas City roster. Kelsey's a tight end. I trust him over everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been consistently getting open. He's been making big plays after big plays after big plays. And I'm like, wow. Again, like both top, like this is a diamond after draft. Right? So I'm like, man, I was like, okay. Now he's starting to get my respect now. We all secondary. Tony needs injury bug. He need more catches down the field, more routes. You know what I'm saying? Put him in the X, I would say. Put Kadarius Toney in the X. Let the man get busy. But for some reason, he's not getting that opportunity. But again, I say Rashee Rice is him. I think Rashee Rice is the answer for Kansas City right now.
Yeah.
So with the trade deadline coming up, and Nick, you had mentioned maybe the Chiefs don't go out and trade for a receiver. If they were to make a move, what do you guys think that move would be?
Well, I think it's gonna be running back. I mean, I put that Derrick Henry. I put that Derrick Henry thing out today, and a bunch of people.
No, what? Derrick Henry?
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay,
let the old man finish. Come on,
all in the ballpark.
I listen. They're not going to get another wide receiver, even with the situation going on with Ross right now. Right. They need another running back. I mean, they have McKinnon on a pitch count. They have Pacheco on a pitch count too, because he's not the most physical guy. They could as Vincent just pointed out, DeCarlo, you can put Hardman in the backfield too and use him at running back like they did his rookie season. But to me personally, I know Derrick Henry is going to cost some money. It's kind of cap friendly the next couple of years. The Ravens are involved. Jerry Jones wants him bad, and we all know what happens when Jerry Jones wants somebody bad. He may give the Titans a first-round pick for him, which would be a huge mistake. But I think they need a speed guy. They need to crash the line of scrimmage guy. Henry fits both. Now, I'm talking 10 carries a game, maybe 12. Throw him a screen pass or two. But if they add any more bodies, I think it's going to be running back before Tuesday. And who knows where that's going to come from.
I like the Henry pick, though, because, like, the Chiefs, let's be honest, Pac and Derrick Henry would be tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
What about a guy like, again, they just brought back their first team guy. His name escapes me now, but Zach Moss from Indianapolis, if he was available. I mean, I don't think they're going to go for a top of the line type guy. I think it would be a little bit more under the radar. And if Indianapolis is at a point where it's like, okay, we've got JT back, and this guy has balled out. I mean, in his absence, and it was a little bit. I mean, I always liked him coming out. I mean, he was a good player at Utah, and he really didn't get much of a chance in Buffalo. So somebody like that might be a nice little pop.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook, he wants out of New York, so I mean they're not using him. I don't know what he's got left in the tank, but for short yardage situations and screen passes, and the protecting the quarterback and play action. I agree with you, Lou. I think it's going to be more someone like that. I don't think it's going to be a top tier name, but unless the two guys on the practice squad have shown something in the first 9 weeks on the scout teams, then I think you have to have another running back for this offense to have to carry the load if they are forced to run the ball more. And I think that's something that Brett Veach might do.
And you're talking about P. Ryan and Prince.
Yeah, I love P. Ryan. I mean, he's been around the league. He had a great preseason, but he had success against third and fourth and team defenses, and I think the Prince is he was the talk at camp, and he was going to be the next this and that, and he just couldn't handle all the complexities of the offense, and it was just the game was too physical for him, and he really, really struggled. So I don't think either one of those guys is the answer. But I think they need to get another running back.
Yeah.
Physicality. Pac and Derrick Henry, both of them guys are physical. I think Derrick Henry is the money back. He's the one that's gonna give you those tough yards, those winning yards, I would say, and then and let Pac finish. Because Pac is still physical. Don't get me wrong, Pac is physical, but it has body size, in the playoffs to sustain a lot of big hits, though, and Derrick Henry is that guy, so I'm loving where your head's at, Nick. I do. And again, I'm all for it. I'm all for Derrick Henry. I'm all for it.
I'm in.
I'll take Cook, though. I guess. But again,
a little small back.
No,
I'm talking about Cook. Cook and Pockets are, Pocket is physical. He gets the top of the run, but
if Cook had anything left, one, I think maybe Minnesota keeps him, and two, he'd be getting a lot more run with the Jets.
I don't know. The Jets,
don't you think? I mean, the Breece Hall is just, a great player, and I think it was more an injury thing. They've got Michael Carter, but you don't see them really incorporating Dalvin Cook Carter at all. So
give me Michael Carter in a heartbeat.
Something tells me that maybe the juice just isn't there anymore.
Yeah, it also could be. They didn't use Hardman either, and look what he did in one game in Kansas City. So right. I just don't think they're giving him enough reps.
Hold on, guys.
That's what he's complaining about. I
got a little breaking news. The Chiefs are still great, and we don't need neither one of those.
Except for Derrick Henry.
Kaboom.
We don't need one. I'll put it like this. All right, so let's get right into it. We got our picks ready. You ready for us? You ready?
I'm ready.
You got your
I'm ready for it.
You ready?
I'm ready for it.
You got the team schedule, sir. You ready? So let's
put up the shot clock.
Yeah.
Speed round.
Here we go.
Jay, go ahead. You ready?
It's ready. Let's go. Ready?
All right.
Okay.
Going around the NFL. We're going around the NFL. Go ahead.
Okay. Jets and Giants.
Home game. I'm going with the New York Football Jets.
Both teams are at home, right? Jets are 3-point. Jets are 3-point favorites. Yeah, I'll go with Zach Wilson.
Jets.
Coming off his vacation.
Okay. Bow tie.
I'll take the Jets.
You did the Jets. Okay, everybody with the Jets. Okay, here we go. The Rams and Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Coach just had a baby this week. That might be a little distracting. No, I think the Cowboys will win at home. They're 6.5-point favorites. Not that that means anything, just for informational purposes only.
I'm taking the Rams. I'll take the Rams. I'll take that.
All right.
I'm taking Puka Nuka the Destroyer. You hear me? I got Puka.
Right.
I got Puka. So I'm definitely
there's a wide receiver everybody missed on.
Absolutely. Okay.
Puka,
Patriots and Dolphins.
Wow.
Patriots and Dolphins, guys.
I think with Tyreek Hill hurt, I don't know if he's gonna play or be as effective as he normally is. I love the way the Patriots played last week. I don't know. Bill Belichick, I think, is going to get an extra step. I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots.
All right,
the Miami Dolphins.
I think
Lou, you got Lou.
Jalen Ramsey, I think, is going to be back. Tyreek's playing possum, of course, leading up to the Chiefs game. Let's go Miami. They're 9.5-point favorites, by the way.
Okay. Bowtie, what you got?
New England, Miami.
Yep.
I'll take New England. I think New England, Belichick, he know how to take away your best players, neutralize them, put the cuffs on them. I'm taking New England.
Only one guy puts the cuffs on. Come on.
The T cuffs, right, Lou?
We know.
All right, Vikings and Packers.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. They're the better football team.
Yeah,
They're playing really well. I'm all in on Kirk Cousins, man. I hope this isn't his last game in Minnesota, but
I love Kirk. I don't think they're trading him, but this is one of my upset specials. Now, I get it. Green Bay's at home. Shouldn't be an upset, but they are 1.5-point dogs. I'm going with Love. Give me Love.
Okay. Bowtie, who you got?
I'll go with the Vikings.
The Vikings.
Yep.
All right. Well, I will play spoiler, but I'm gonna go with Vikings too. Okay. Texans and Panthers. What we got? Texans and Panthers.
Texans. Just that simple.
Yeah. Texans all the way. CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Carolina Panthers to get a game. Yeah, they gotta win a game. It's gotta win a game, and I feel like they're gonna win this game.
Well, I got the Texans because I got my favorite one of my favorite cornerbacks in Derek Stingley, right? Derek Stingley, and I like Stroud, CJ Stroud over there. So I'm taking the Texans. All right, we got Eagles and Commanders.
Eagles.
Yeah, Philly,
Eagles.
7 points.
Eagles by 25 points.
I think Sam Howell gets sacked more than anybody. I think he'll probably get sacked in the pregame. Philadelphia.
I'm going with the Commanders. Commanders almost beat them last time. They almost beat them last time. Yep. That was close. So I'm feeling like they're gonna come back and get that win. They left that win on the field, so I feel like they'll come back and get it.
I say the way like Lou was stating, the offensive line is horrible, and with that offensive line against that great defensive line, I'm about to go to Eagles on that one. I got Eagles. All right, guys, here we go. Y'all ready? We have Saints and Colts. Who you got?
Colts all the way. I'm all in on Minshew.
Colts are at home. They're a 1-point dog. Indianapolis. Give me Minshew. Minshew mania.
Okay. You want the mania?
I'm going to Saints, and Tyrann Matthew is going to knock the mustache off of Minshew. So I feel like the Saints is going to take this game and come back in the North.
The Honey Badger.
Yeah, I'll take the Saints.
I'll take the Saints. Even though, my gut says Colts, but I'm going to Saints because I like Tyrann Matthew. Okay. Here we go. We got Browns and Seahawks.
Boy, it's going to be a good game. I love the way their young quarterback's playing.
Man, I love Witherspoon. That's my guy there.
I'm telling you right now, I think Seattle's the better team. I think the Browns have the best defense. They didn't show it last week, so I think the Browns are going to bounce back. I like Cleveland in this game.
Ooh, okay.
I'll go Seahawks here.
Ooh, good pick. Bowtie.
I'm going Seahawks.
Dang, everybody want to go for the Seahawks, huh?
Nick
I got Seahawks because Witherspoon's my guy. Hense knows that. Nick, right Hense, you know that.
It's just me. Just me.
The lone wolf. The lone brown.
Hey, real quick, inside thing. Hense know Witherspoon my guy, huh? All right. Bengals and 49ers. Bengals and Niners. What's up?
Their Purdy isn't as good as our Purdy.
That's right.
Absolutely not.
That's for sure.
That's right.
He is in the concussion protocol. It's doubtful he plays. This is the biggest game that Joe Burrow is going to play this year. They have to win. If they lose,
they got Buffalo next week.
And then they got Buffalo next week. And everybody in Division I last week, it's possible that, similar can happen this week. If Burrow is truly healthy, he's got to show it. But I'm going to go the 49ers.
What? Yeah, okay. I don't see San Francisco losing 3 in a row. Even if Burrow is healthy, I think the defense gets right. Give me San Francisco.
I can't believe it. I can't believe this. All right, Bowtie, be real. Stay in your own lane, Bowtie. Stay in your lane. Don't join them. Stay in your lane, sir. I know you love Joe Burrow in your heart. I know you do.
Stop it, sir. The Bengals know me on Twitter, always going to their inbox and trashing the cornflake team, Tony the Tiger team. I feel like
some good cornflakes, by the way.
There's some good cornflakes, with some goat milk, maybe. I'll put it like this. I don't think the Bengals are going to win this game. So, I feel like the Bengals are going to lose by a lot, and it's going to be pretty good.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, guys. Higgins, Chase, Joe Burrow playing at a high level right now. He's gonna bounce back. I don't trust the Niners secondary for real. They got a good front now. The front versus the Bengals offensive line. That could be the issue because it is right, true, and Burrow is used to that. But Joe, my boy, so I gotta go with Smoking Joe.
All right.
Chiefs and Broncos.
Chiefs by 2 points.
All right, okay. Everybody Chiefs, huh?
Chiefs by 38-10. Rashee Rice is going to take the lead by storm that game, and I feel like it's going to be a rice day, and he's going to be eating a lot of rice, not Chipotle rice, but a lot of rice.
Chipotle rice is delicious, sir. Okay,
not as good as wings. All right.
Ravens and those mighty Cardinals. Now, guys, let's really break that down. Before we make that pick, let's really break it down right now.
Go ahead and break it down.
Now, this is in Arizona, correct?
Yes. And Kyle Murray might be playing.
Kyle Murray might play. If Kyle Murray plays, I think the newness and the freshness and the excitement and the burst it's going to give them in that locker room.
True.
I'm not sold on the Ravens. Everybody knows that. I don't think Lamar Jackson can win multiple playoff games. Look at that.
I'm going to kick in your kneecap, man.
I love it. Now, I do think this. I think Kyle Murray will not be with the Cardinals next year. I think he's got 8 games to show what he can do. And what better to go and beat one of the guys that you're sort of compared to. And the guy that you're playing only has a single playoff win in his career.
Right, true enough.
How many wins does Patrick Mahomes have? How many wins?
That and then some, man.
Yeah. No. If Murray plays, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals for the upset. I like the Cardinals defense. I really do.
Got you.
Ravens.
You got Ravens. Bowtie. You got.
He did all that just to say the Ravens. I know. The Ravens.
Sell out. All right.
Sell out.
Bears and Chargers, guys. Bears and Chargers. What we got?
Is this?
Well, Nick, I know you, Nick. You already know who you got. I already know who you got.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
This is in LA. They're 9-point favorites. The Division II quarterback Tyson Bagent starting his second
you're talking
game.
about Justin Herbert, Division II.
He won his first start. He would be, if he wins this game, he would be the first, or actually the second NFL quarterback, Division II, to win his first 2 starts. Nick, do you know the other? This is way off the beaten path. Right now, Nick. He started his career in the CFL.
Warren Moon.
Dieter Brock.
There's not some Chiefs Moon in there. Look at him.
Warren Moon went to Washington. Come on.
No.
All right. I can't go. I'd love to go with a Division II kid. I'd love to go against it. I'm gonna go with my guy, Justin Herbert.
I knew it.
All right, that's fair.
All right, both talk. Who you got?
I'm going to Chicago Bears. All that to say, the Bears are going to strike some lightning into those Chargers.
Okay, I like underdogs though, Lou. I do like underdogs. I like the kid.
I love the story.
I like the kid. I do too. I like Herbert. I do like Herbert. I can't stand their coach though.
You can't say it. He's covering his mouth. He's like, I can't.
I'm trying to.
It's like he's calling. He's calling the defensive.
He's that guy. He's the guy in the grocery store line taking all day. Hurry up.
I'm gonna say this. I love underdogs. I do. I'm gonna go with the Bears on this one because I love underdogs.
Right.
I love underdogs. I'm gonna go with the Bears, man.
Fair.
Okay, Monday night, Raiders and Lions. Who we got?
Lions are going to bounce back.
We'll say that for Monday's show.
I mean, it's the pick. We'll say the pick. It's on the schedule. The pick is there.
All right,
5 steps ahead, money.
All right. Does anybody want to pick Atlanta at Tennessee?
Do we have to?
I don't know. Sure, why not?
I'll go Atlanta.
They're gonna play the game. I think Will Levis is starting for Tennessee. I think you might see the Malik. Who's the quarterback that came from Liverpool?
Malik Wilson.
Malik Willis.
Willis. So he is starting.
All right. So no. Levis is going to start, but I'm going to take Atlanta as well. Hopefully, Bijan Robinson plays here. He crushed my fantasy team last week. I think this is more of an Arthur Smith thing, so I'm still going to take him. I'm going to take Atlanta.
I agree.
Take
Atlanta.
And
then a big one in these parts too, guys. Pick the game. Let's go. Hense, who you got?
I'll take Atlanta.
All right.
Okay. Lou, Nick, talk to me. Who you got?
Atlanta.
I got the Falcons.
This is sets up for Tennessee winning.
Of course,
I got Derrick Henry. I got the future Chief.
All right.
Having a big game.
All right. Big one in my backyard. Jacksonville, 2.5-point favorite at Pittsburgh. The terrible towels. I think Lawrence was talking about the little yellow towels that might have.
I seen that.
But I love me some Trevor Lawrence as well. I don't know. Pittsburgh, I can't trust them, but this is the perfect spot for them.
Mm-hmm.
Underdog at home. I just can't pull the trigger. I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Yeah. Steelers defense is too good.
I got Jacksonville.
Taking the Steelers. The Steelers are going to win this game.
All right.
That's it?
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm take it right there. That was Dre's around the NFL in the slowest pace that you ever can take it.
That's right. Because me and Lou break it down now. Don't get it wrong. Me and Lou breaks down. I want the viewers to think before they make their pick. That's what me and Lou do.
He went straight Gary from SpongeBob around the NFL.
Whoa, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, we had to take our time, man.
If you have little kids, you probably get that reference.
Yeah.
If you don't,
look it up on Google it.
Check out Nickelodeon fans. Yeah. Check out Nickelodeon.
I'm more a PBS guy. I'm more a PBS guy. I'm more like Sesame Street guy.
Sesame Street,
cool.
Sure.
Sesame Street,
sure.
In case before we close out, you want to get the shout outs to the everybody that's watched, Dre.
Well, most definitely. My guy Red Salsa over here waiting on my hot and spicy. we gotta give a shout out to my guy again, Kareem. He stepped in again for a little bit. That's my guy. We gotta give a shout out to KC Blitz. KC Blitz, man. Welcome. Appreciate the love. And again, guys, keep it coming. Keep it coming, man.
Okay.
It is us, but we letting people know that we do. Like, I do pay attention. So we do pay attention.
Nice to see that you pay attention. It's good for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's get right into it. Get the shout outs to the sponsors once again, Nick.
Yeah, I want to thank Dave Purdy with the Supreme Lending. You can reach Dave at 816-405-5831. You can email him, dave.purdy@supremelending.com. He's got his QR code. Just take a picture of the QR code on our website as well. Those will be up next week, and you can see if you can qualify. And then Eric Haynes, the Eric Haynes Group. He's been a terrific realtor in Kansas City for a long time, and we certainly appreciate him. You can reach him at 816-729-3785. eSalesKC@gmail.com. So we got you covered for mortgages. Got you covered for real estate. We're your one go-to shop when it comes to sponsorships, working hand in hand to make sure they get the best benefits for our listeners. You don't have to be in the Kansas City area. These guys can work with you around the country, and they'll make sure you use them. They'll make sure that you're taken care of. And the same way that we're trying to take care of our fans by offering Chiefs Blitz. Check us out at chiefsblitz.com. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Like our streaming service here with YouTube. Just subscribe to the channel. Remember, when we get to 1,000, I'm diving into one of my premier pieces of memorabilia. It's going to go to the 1,000th subscriber. So as soon as that happens, I'll be able to disclose it. And I can tell you, it will be a Len Dawson item. So there you go.
All right.
Something that very few people have. So there you go.
Few people have.
Very few people have. I know. This particular item, there are 3 people that have it, and whoever is number 1,000 will be the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we close out, while we closing out, the guys, you stick around, right? But if you missed it, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it again. The interview we had with Christian McCoy. Go get his books, and get a book at Amazon. And if in case you missed it, I'm gonna drop the interview again. You guys
drop the interview, sir.
If they missed it, we're gonna drop it again. Let's go, sir. Don't rush me, sir.
Hello, everybody. I am here with Greg Hanlon, who is the author of The Nigerian Nightmare, My Journey Out of Africa, about our good friend, Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare himself. First of all, Greg, thanks for joining the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I just want to say, overall, when you look at this book and you've had time to reflect, what was the most intriguing thing throughout the process?
It was such a unique story, something you never really see. This is a guy that had never heard of football until he was 20-something years old. He obviously had the physique. He obviously had the physical tools. He was basically given a football and it was told, do this, you'd be great at it. And he had no idea. Physically, he was obviously cut out for it. Mentally and psychologically, he's wired a little differently than most football players. He's not a macho guy. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not trying to hurt people. So he had to sort of figure the game out on his own terms. And in his kind of quiet, humble, sort of studious way, he did that incredibly successfully.
Yeah, I remember, being a younger Chiefs fan than I am today, but watching Christian play. And I remember one of the stories that I heard was when he first came to practice, he just went full speed. And he was knocking everybody over. And he was hurting people. And Marty had to explain to him, no, this is just practice. Because he knew nothing else. Not because he just wasn't around the game long enough. And Azusa Pacific, he was a great running back. I think he only played, 2 years?
Yep.
2 years there. And so, he comes to the NFL, and they do things a lot different. Back then in college, it's a lot different than it is today. Today, it's basically scrimmages during the week for both sports. But for him, how hard of an adjustment was it to say, I got to slow down here, or I got to do this. It had to be difficult.
Everything was such a learning curve. He was completely new. He didn't even grow up watching football, let alone playing football. He did not know the first thing about the game. In college, one of his teammates, sort of as a joke, lovingly poking fun at him, they would call a play, and this guy brought a cardboard arrow, and he would put an arrow down in the direction that he had to run in. He did not know the first thing, which I think is hard for most American fans to understand,
right?
Because we grow up around the game, the terminology, the rules, they're second nature to us. This is a guy who was thrown onto the football field where there's live bodies that you can get hurt, and he literally did not know the first thing about the sport.
But I've always said that God doesn't give us something that we cannot handle. You know what I'm saying? So life is about taking one step at a time and just moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, all the steps you took, to get out of the situation, to get out of the country, you come to the U.S., you go to college. It had to been, that whole experience. Then you start playing football, and all of a sudden you get NFL scouts.
Yes.
You get general managers. What was that like for you?
It was strange to me, coming from Nigeria, and I've never left the country before. And coming to the U.S., went to school for 2 years and hoping to be in the Olympics, and that kind of slipped away from me, and getting thrown into the NFL, into a sport that I had no idea what I was doing. But my teammates bailed me out. Everybody bailed me out. So I'm so much indebted to them.
Yeah, I remember Marty Schott and I were talking about when you had your first practice and you were going full speed.
Yes.
And you were hitting everybody. And
yeah.
they're like, you're going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Thank God you weren't playing defense and going after the quarterback, because you probably would have knocked him out. But that had to have been hard for you because you just didn't understand the game at that point.
I didn't understand. And the coaches said, you need to go a little bit faster, go full speed so we can gauge and kind of get the sense of what's going on, and that's what I did. And then from there is where everybody started coming to Nigerian Nightmare, because I was running everybody over. Yeah.
Well, the NFL hadn't really seen anybody like you before. I mean, they had, Pearl Campbell and Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
But you had a sense of you were patient in the holes.
Yeah.
You could run over people. I remember my first memory was the Seattle Seahawks game, where they were just trying to hit your thighs, hit your ankles, and then announcers were going, nobody can stop this man.
Yeah.
And I don't think you scored maybe 2 touchdowns that game, but that seemed to be, everybody thought, oh my God, this is something that we're going to have to worry about. And you're in the Marty Ball system.
Yeah, I mean, Marty just put me there. I tell you, I keep telling this story. When Marty was hired by the Chiefs, he called me up from California, and we had 3 minutes conversation, and that was it. And what he said to me is, Christian, I just want to take a look at you and tell you that we're going to run the ball, and we're going to run it a lot. Are you ready? I said, yes, coach. It's okay. Let's go meet the rest of the staff. And that was it. So he gave me the ball, and I was so happy because I didn't know much about football, but when he told me he was going to hand the ball over to me, I was happy because that was the only thing I knew how to do, just run forward.
Right.
Yeah,
you didn't have to worry about it. I mean, eventually you caught passes and you learned how to block and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he gave you the freedom to say, okay, and he had the wherewithal to say, okay, we know Christian can do this. Let's start his career here.
Yeah. I mean, they gave me an open arm, hugged me when I came in, took me in, and I felt at home in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Everybody just treated me so nicely, and if I had gone somewhere else, it probably would have been different. Same with my old school. So I love Kansas City. That's why I keep coming back, and I have so many friends out here. They treat me well, And I can't complain. I'm a blessed man.
Yeah, I mean, you came back in the Renaissance era. I mean,
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs football before you arrived and Marty and Carl arrived wasn't all that great.
No.
And you were, because of the success you had early on, and then the Chiefs started winning, and then they get in the playoffs. You were a big part of, what Derek did and what Neil did and everybody else did. Do you understand how important that was for the Chiefs fans to have somebody they could say, this is our guy?
Yes. Every time I meet somebody, every time I sign autographs, most of the guys that come up, they tell me, you are the reason I became a Chiefs fan. And that makes me feel good, And I tell the story that the first 2 years before Marty and Peterson came, it was hard for us to win games. We won, I think, 8 games total those 2 years. And I couldn't give away a ticket to anybody. All my friends, if you want to come to a game, no, that's all right. Right. Then after 2 years when Marty and Peterson came, I couldn't give tickets away. I mean, everybody was calling me and asking me for tickets and stuff. I said, no, somebody already got it. But that's the big change. And of course, the same year they came, we started selling out the stadium. We had never sold it out before.
Yeah, that Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that was the big one.
That was that was the moment that the whole nation knew about the Chiefs.
That was the story. That was the story behind that. I don't need to stop you.
No, please.
Before the game started, the Buffalo Bills, they were talking all kind of nonsense, and because they had gone to Super Bowl the year before, they were talking all kind of nonsense. So Marty, I think, was the one that put a newspaper clipping up on the board so that all the players can read about what they're saying about us. If they can, we just kick their butts.
You did a bulletin board material. That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch. You go through a lot of things in the book, but in reading just the table of contents, talk about right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still a participant. You're still active in the Chiefs community. You're still active with the Chiefs. Obviously, the work you do at Third and Long Foundation. Yes, I'm going to get to Derek Thomas in just a minute, but just this renaissance now of the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era. As a former player, what does it mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot, and it gives me great confidence that I can think back and think about things that we did and know that we started everything. Right. And these guys also they have that in mind as well.
Right.
And just watching them put smiles on my face because we're now going to Super Bowls. We could have went to the Super Bowl, but we couldn't. These guys are going, and we have to ride their coattails.
All right. Last thing I want to talk about is someone that's very dear to I know your heart.
Yes.
Certainly to mine from a distance in the research we did with, trying to learn more about his life and his career. But Derek Thomas,
yes,
he was your roommate, he was your friend,
yes,
and he was something very special.
Yes, Derek Thomas, he was special, and we still remember him. And as you can tell, we still kept his foundation going after over 20 years. Yep. Because he had a kind heart, and he treated everybody nice. Everybody in Kansas City loved him. His teammates love him, and of course, I love him. And he was a great loss to us. Yeah. And I think about him a lot. I wear his jersey often. Yeah,
that's a great way to honor him. Yes. Well, Christian, we want to thank you very much. Best of luck with the book, Christian Okoye, The Nigerian Nightmare: A Journey from Africa to the Kansas City Chiefs and Beyond. You can pre-order on Amazon. It comes out with November 7th.
Yes.
November 7th. And we'll be promoting it as well on Chiefs Blitz. Thanks again. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.